And for Cloud9, if iBUYPOWER puts this one away, a perfect 4-0 like you said was possible, but I never once believed.
That I was losing. I was doubting my prediction as well on towards the end of that match. I did not think iBUYPOWER would be able to pull.
Wait. Look at the push. Nothing's already made it out. He's located one. The bomb carry almost botched his opportunity. He knows the bomb is dropped, and he's called teammates out to support him. They're out at spawn, and they have to go for a recovery mission. Now Dazed telling his teammates, we got to go back and get that. Nothing picking up a second kill, dropping Dazed. What
Good
a
start.
momentous, what a crazy first start. Doing that out of the gate.
And they didn't expect it at all. I mean, I like it. I like the crazy play from nothing there.
You got to put it all on the line sometimes. What better time to do it than a LAN final?
Oh man. Well, I mean, I'm sure they were thinking, you know, we got them on their back leg. They're staggering, so you know, they're gonna play passive and be careful. And nothing's like, no, I'm just gonna go yellow.
iBUYPOWER trying to compose themselves now, moving as a team of 3, using their numbers advantage to overwhelm one side. They'll only have one angle of attack. They were looking for an instant headshot. Nothing doesn't allow it. The star of the round so far. He has been nearly perfect. AZK's Glock 18 running out of ammunition, trying to find that one headshot that'll allow him to maybe walk away with a few extra dollars, but no more than that. Cloud9 has taken the pistol round. That's 1-0.
Good start for Cloud9, and they need it because we saw Dust 2 previously, and I mean, iBUYPOWER, they pretty much ran it. I mean, the T side was pretty close Cloud9 CT side, it was fairly even, but then iBUYPOWER took the 9-6 lead, which pretty standard, and then their CT side was stellar. So Cloud9 needs to get as many rounds as they can on this CT side.
Cloud9 mostly ignoring the final tier of rifle weaponry. They'll go with FAMASes and instead pick up a couple flashbangs, make sure their helmets are on. Shroud will make sure that he's got his kit. For the entire terrorist team, there's a single walk-in prober. Swag just gathering information by himself, and the remainder of his team waiting out at long. It's going to be a split take and maybe a late explode at 15 or 10.
He hasn't seen anybody up there, but he must be passing the information that either they could be stacked in B or they're stacking long A. So I think these guys want to be careful if they do go out long.
He heard that footstep at the elevator. Now he's calling his team. He's telling them that he's leaving back towards CT spawn. We might have a numbers advantage. There's probably not a double stack at long if there's an elevator player.
Probably not. Guaranteed one. Well, possibly two.
Here it is. The explode was at 48. First shot by Hiko is good. He's now backpedaling to make it back to the elevator spot. His teammate behind him also supporting him. It's a firing squad out in the middle of open space. And so far, so good. Even the flank by Swag almost instantly defeated it. He's wounded right before he was dropped. The last one alive, Steel, looking only for headshots. Now trying to make sure he doesn't get hit every time he peeks up. He does get one. And he's got that game sense right now that is, I'm going to get flanked. I know it. Yeah. I absolutely know it. That's 2 rounds for Cloud9.
Yeah, unfortunately, he still had 2 enemies straight ahead of him, so looking for that flank exposed him. But either way, first 3 rounds probably going to go to Cloud9. They're doing a great job. iBUYPOWER unable to get a bomb plant in either of these rounds and not really generating that many kills, forcing that many rebuys. So, yeah, Cloud9 is doing great so far in this half.
A jump across for a 2-1-2 split. Nothing, and sgares will push down to long to observe early and then maybe drop out as sgares becomes a passive observer, a support player. Nothing's considering pushing himself up to the door, but he's gone way back into the that bucket right next to the pit. The T's will go back to the exact same look. Swag becomes that first penetrator again. All 4 remaining iBUYPOWER players waiting outside of long. And Dazed hoping he doesn't get an itchy trigger finger. That could end badly.
Taking it slow once again, but it does look like the same exact setup like we said.
More importantly, though, look, Cloud9, thinking last round was unique and that they won't do the same thing again, has moved an early player over to B. There's a much greater chance of this being successful with Hiko not being here.
Yeah, good call by iBUYPOWER to do the same thing because it is potentially going to catch Cloud9 off guard. But you see the number 5 man is creeping back, just peeking mid, trying to get any information.
Here's our entry. AZK assists teammate heading toward pit. There's one at the close corner. He turns the corner looking for the PT50 headshot, doesn't pick it up, and sgares and nothing hold so firm. Now Swag from behind does pick up the deagle kill, looks for a headshot, and semphis finishes off the kill before he's able to pull his deagle back down. We're done with the eco rounds. Cloud9 has 3. iBUYPOWER now starts their gun rounds.
They do, and this is the exact same scenario we saw last time where Cloud9 won the pistol, got the first 3, and then iBUYPOWER got their gun round, went up to 5, and then they went back and forth, back and forth. So we'll see if they do that once again. Skadoodle wasn't looking so impressive with the op on train. Maybe he'll pick it up on dust.
We've got an early runner here. I thought AZK was going to go to the close corner and hold the long corner pick with an AK-47. Very difficult to do, by the way, but we've seen it in the past. sgares hits one. It's a corner shot to the back of the B tunnels, and Steel, the complimentary player, out at B to help the engagement. A lot of spam through the smoke. That CT smoke, so easy to throw and so commonly used, but Shroud above on top of the box is trying to assist his teammate sgares, who is still, I think, positioned above and still staring down at mid.
He's actually gone back to the B platform. He's gotten fully into the site.
3 CTs in CT. Hiko drops one. Now, I think right before Daze died, his camera definitely would have seen that there were 3 people right ahead of him.
Yeah, he probably got that information and passed it on, but they have the bomb, so not much they could do about it.
Right. Now the bomb is dropped right in the middle of all these CTs. With the smoke in the door, there's very little chance that AZK and Steel can pull this out. They have to be assuming.
CT drop.
They have to assume that AZK is going to try the CT drop.
Let's take a look. Shroud looking at the door. Hiko looking at the door, so it's got to
No
be
one's
the number
looking
5.
back.
Yeah. Got to be the number 5 man looking at the door, who is Semphis.
Here's the moment. Hiko picks up the next one. Shroud steals that joy. 4 rounds for Cloud9. Still perfect right now on Dust 2.
Yeah, looking really good so far. They stopped the main point where iBUYPOWER just took it off. So iBUYPOWER going to be forced to another save here. Cloud9 just extending that lead further and further. So this is looking good for Cloud9 to come back, maybe take us to map 3.
Look at the purchases for iBUYPOWER. They've taken on that persona of Cloud9 not really caring about what it means to buy conventionally these days.
It is early in the game, and I mean, we have seen iBUYPOWER do that early in the game just because you could come back from it if it does fail. So far, working out pretty decently. Swag getting a kill.
Swag got that kill at the corner of mid, looking down through the double doors, and he's been walled off by smoke. He saw the head of semphis, who still tries to jump up onto the box. Now, if you think that was maybe not the most informed move, you're right. It was overly risky, but semphis doesn't know, because when you jump over that box, your player vision doesn't come up over the wall. So a bit of a gimme there for Swag. We were talking about not knowing or not heeding the typical buying mechanics of Counter-Strike and the save concept, because people are buying more aggressively these days, but I think that's a testament to Valve and their ability to balance guns and make everything viable, make more scenarios playable for players, and make every situation still fun.
Also just teams, in general, understanding the game and what they have to work with, the amount of rounds they have to work with, and what they could do in aggressive situations. And it's paying off for iBUYPOWER right now. Bit
of a miscommunication is nothing but a pop flash for Hiko as he dropped out to go back toward B, but Hiko's made the right move. His instincts will pay off if he can get that AK shot on target, which he misses twice in a row, and maybe gets a second chance at it now. He could step in to stop the bomb planter, but he knows there's a second player, and he can't afford to give up the position.
Yeah, Swag cut off that rotate as he was trying to come along, but now he moves into the mid position because sgares is trying to flank him on Cat.
Hiko in a very odd position. Here's the bomb planter, and will drop down on him. More importantly, sgares to find the flanker does critical damage to Swag, who can barely just escape, and then eats a headshot. Not only did he surrender the op, there's also the bomb defused. Cloud9 still looking really good.
Yeah, that was really nicely done by sgares and Hiko right there. You saw Hiko got that kill onto the man in B, and then he immediately turned around looking for that flank. sgares went on Cat to try to sandwich him in, and once Hiko got the okay that sgares had a position to get Swag if he tried to go up to B. He just went in, got the kill, and then immediately went for the defuse.
Moderate to high-level teams will try to come to the assistance of their teammates by just thunderfooting and getting as fast as possible to the location where the bomb is. But that discipline there for sgares to wait for Swag to make the first move, excuse me, not Swag, but whoever that player was on the scene first. Got a cat pick here. sgares to hit a hard shot, hits Steel through the hand, all the way through the chest. 2 op kills, a double scope defense for Cloud9, and on Dust 2, that's very viable.
sgares is very on with the op today. We saw him using it all in this series, so He's been doing the majority of opping, and he's doing a great job.
Now, Dazed saw the shadow coming, was able to pre-fire hiko. Shroud has the trade. Dazed is now down 4 alive for the CTs. They have their most expensive equipment still in tow and intact. Ow. Ow.
3K for Gares. He starts off with that early push to catwalk and picks the guy lower B, and then immediately backs up to a better position, and they just keep testing him, and he's racking up those kills. Take a look at the score. He's at 11 already in these first 6 rounds.
iBUYPOWER is at the full losing bonus now. They'll probably continue to buy out, considering that you don't necessarily need all your smokes and flashes on Dust 2 to experience success.
Yeah, you see Skadoodle actually saving, though, because he wants to be able to pick up on op.
Good flash, and then a 4 burst. Semphis is down and has dropped an op. There's still a player close at the corner to support. Nothing's out in open space, and he could be chased. Instead of falling back, he's going to push into the smoke, engage anybody dropping into the pit, and everybody has to know where he is. His teammate's trying to bail him out, but he will not be able to escape the hail of bullets that chased after him. Swag is now got his kill. 1 tap from Dazed. The second bullet just for safety. sgares eats that one from the platform. 2 versus 3, and a pop flash for Shroud to escape.
Working out so far for iBUYPOWER.
Crazy exchange.
Yeah.
Crazy exchange.
Missed that one, but yeah, Swag does pick up that one as well. And I thought it was Swag actually moving up catwalk, but it was Dazed.
Now Shroud to engage 3 players all at the close corner. Pop flash, and he's out in open space. His positioning probably a little questionable at that point, but still a good round for iBUYPOWER to finally get on the board.
That was a good flash. Even if he flicked it, which he did, he flicked it, but it was still effective because he had to look away long enough for the iBUYPOWER player to come in. Get the kill. So now we see 2 op look for Swag and Skadoodle. I want to see if they're going to double pick mid or if they'll just go for the rush.
Spoils of war from their last round from the CTs.
Yep.
Important to note that does not go into the net cost. That's a gift.
It is a gift. They both went for the double pick. Unfortunately, didn't come out with anything there.
What do you think iBUYPOWER knows about Cloud9 that they go to a completely passive hold at the beginning of the round, thinking that maybe Cloud9 does something berserker, suicidal?
I mean, they only saw it on the pistol round, so I don't think that gives them enough to think that. But I think they're just playing it passive anyways, looking for those picks, especially since they did get 2 ops now.
One-on-one op duel is lost. sgares hits Skadoodle. Looks like he fired second, but still it might have been that Skadoodle was off of his mark.
Could have been the case. Unfortunately, we didn't see it from Skadoodle's perspective.
From the developments on the minimap, looks like we have a 2-2 split take for A. There's a single player in the pit and a lot of players rotating back to help. Now Steel to throw the set smoke to blind the player coming from CT, but they've already made it through the elevator. Will he dive? He saw that player on the ramp. He'll call it out to his teammates, and there's no chance he'll engage. He will dive. He didn't go into the smoke. Now he's in between all the CTs, and he may have just thrown his life away in that instance. Inadvisable play. Now hiko and semphis combining to take down 3, and the iBUYPOWER offensive comes to a grinding halt.
I understand what he was trying to do. He was trying to dive down there and then let his backup come in and look towards the platform and sneak up or get the player to push, but unfortunately he just missed that trade. And if he got it, I mean, it would have been a great play.
I think, given his positioning, he must have heard the player from CT move forward. He thinks that's the only player coming from elevator.
Yeah. And
he goes chasing after him. But what happened was Shroud just came through the smoke right after him.
He did, and it's unfortunate that happened. But Cloud9 managed to pick themselves up from that round loss and get back on their horse. Picking up that win in their economy, though, because they are on that CT side and buying so many ops, it's not that far ahead of iBUYPOWER.
Appropriate now for this series that it would go down to the final stretch. Cloud9 beginning to really flex some muscle, pulling up to 7 to iBUYPOWER's 1. If they win, they could force this to the final map, which I'm so excited is Inferno. The map that I had actually spoken with you while we were meeting today, the one that I wanted to see.
Yeah, we've only seen it once so far in this finals, so yeah, I'm excited to see that too. If we can go to map 3, that would be awesome.
Mid control for iBUYPOWER. They'll send 4 down, including 1 to spot, and then a pop flash for nothing. He sees a player at the crease, actually double peeks while still pulling out his weapon. Sloppy play there is punished by AZK, who's crisp and on point with his 3 bursts, and sgares is walking right into a trap.
I don't think he knows Steel is
He has no idea.
Steel doesn't know he's got a free. Oh.
Oh, no.
How did that miss? It was right on his head.
One of those Counter-Strike moments. Semphis flashes through, tries to get the huge Batman CZ kill, which never happens. And Hiko's the last. Here's everybody above him, uses the footsteps above him to just kind of mask his own sounds. Can't get the kill, faces the firing squad, sees everybody there.
That was odd. They were all looking everywhere but where he was. But yeah, they did pick up that kill in a round, and you look at their economy once again. They might have to save here. Of course, it is C9. I think with the round lead, they'll probably go for the save. Or
We'll
not.
see.
Never mind.
I specifically said nothing because we've learned over time.
They were thinking it was like 2 seconds before freeze time ended when they actually decided to buy.
I feel like there's this moment where they're all fidgeting at their desk being like, we can't, and then they buy at the very last second. Semphis is so close. He sees one rifle. Let Dazed walk out a little further. Could have had a double easier without taking any damage, but you know what? The results here tell me that his decision was just as good as the other. Another one. sgares picks up steal. You can hear the cheers from the crowd. Skadoodle's the last one alive. 1 versus 4 has an op, and he's done crazier things, but
I think he would want to hold on to this because
I don't
their
think
economy
he
was
cares
great.
about that. Oh!
Wow. Up close and blind. The play, unfortunately, not good enough to get any further into the round, but good for the highlight reel.
The savage flick.
Good for the highlight reel.
8-2.
So they're going to squeak out a buy here. You see Skadoodle, he's at 3K, so he's going to have to go P250 in armor. And Cloud9 are going to be able to keep building it up after that loss. And this half is already going way better for Cloud9 than it did on the initial Dust 2 match that we saw.
That break between that team meeting that they just had, we saw them huddled together inside the event hall, must have had some very purposeful message, some tactical adjustment, because not only was the previous game an emotional letdown for them at being so close, but there were some serious technical cues that they needed to have fixed. It looks like they've got a lot of it buttoned up now, but we're still too early to determine.
Yeah. And we do, I do think iBUYPOWER is better on CT side than they are on T side of this map. So it is very good that Cloud9 is holding them back here from getting as many rounds as they can. But if iBUYPOWER starts getting some momentum, you see they got that early pick on semphis. If they can keep this rolling, get this win, get maybe, you know, get up to 4 or 5, then I think they could possibly pull it out.
Shroud identifies the first mover, hits a dink through that door, sees the next, a rifle, and Hiko will pick up the kill. Then from between the doors, Shroud finally joins the battle, drops AZK, and steals the last.
Shroud and Hiko just working so well together in that B site, picking up steal right there to end the round. And, you know, they did a good job of holding on after losing their initial mid-player semphis. So, yeah, I mean, a point exposed in the map. They decided to just hold on with that 2 in both of the sites, and it paid off.
9-2. 9-2 on Dust 2, a map that's traditionally fairly even. That's not lost. That detail not at all lost by iBUYPOWER, who knows that this is not a natural sort of score line. Fast moving into long. We've got pressure in and a close corner player still being moved out by a smoke grenade. Steel checks the corner. And then we'll check the pit. The support player, the Rap, who was intended for the catwalk. We've seen that strat, or that eco actually before, got caught by a grenade out of the palm tree. Joined by teammate semphis to charge through the smoke. Finds Skadoodle on the other end, who picks up the double kill. sgares and Shroud face off against AZK and Skadoodle. It's all evened up, and the chances of getting this bomb planted still unknown. You can't really cross without a perfect smoke, and sometimes even when you throw that perfect smoke, it leaves little creases around the edge.
Yeah, Garrus was thinking about just going to the A platform, but then he hit the brakes. He must have been told that obviously the death cam probably showed him going back to long, but they faked it.
Also, his teammate must have been calling out no cross, no cross.
Yeah,
Shroud will see this, and look how little health AZK has. Hopefully he passes the... Oh, now both have been tagged. sgares knew. Excellent execution by the both of them. Excellent communication. Cloud9 has 10.
It was a great hold there, and good communication to be on top of that. You know, Shroud was in the better position to watch, see if they cross, so he just had to look for that rotate going back to B. And, I mean, iBUYPOWER is struggling, which was unlike them on that first S2 game. But Going for the buy here. Skadoodle got some extra money in that round, so he's able to pick up an op, even though the rest of his team is on a little bit of a force. 2 Galeels, as we see. Let's go to A.
iBUYPOWER now feeling the round slip out of their grips. They realize that they've been playing so well, but there is fatigue, right? You've been playing back to back to back to back games. Now would be the worst time to lose your focus.
It would. I mean, they are up 1 game in this series, so they do have that advantage going for them.
Op shot goes in between 2 players, and Swag will drop shot and Gares. 2 versus 3, and iBUYPOWER has somewhat of an advantage for the first time in a while. Now Shroud, stuck in the elevator, is realizing what a bad position this tends to be.
Don't push without your team.
That would be the wrong move to make, especially since Shroud has been so good this season, so automatic.
Indeed. And he actually backs up to this. We saw this previously, and they threw the pop flash and peeked him. But this time, it's just Skadoodle and his op.
Now, I will point out that Shroud's had some very, very tough times on Dust 2 as of late. His efficacy the last time we saw him on the map was a mere 4.05 with a KD of 9 and 19.
Yeah, following in suit on this map so far. I mean, it looks like Gares and hiko are doing the majority of the lifting for Cloud9.
You wonder why that is. Is there a scenario where Shroud tends to thrive, a type of map that he tends to do? Oh, a mid-pick. Skadoodle hits Shroud through the door in the head. And it's so appropriate and so sad that we happen to be talking about him and his struggles in this map.
It could be that maybe, because, I mean, Cloud9 does have him not in one position, and they do have him moving around. So maybe just the fact that he has to move and play multiple spots.
Semphis might charge the smoke, and he's going to take the risk. They knew he was coming. Dazed picks up the kill, and they've just got 2 left to deal with. Hiko and Nothing, who have paired up to do some quite magical and impressive things in the past, might just be too far out of it to do it this time.
Yeah, look at their economy. They know that they need to save these guns, 150 and 0, and then the rest of the team is broke as well. So they need to save, because if iBUYPOWER is going to pick up this round, and they want to have as much as they can on that last round to stop iBUYPOWER from getting to 5, because, like I said, if they get to 5, I mean, that's just one off of the...
Tell me if this stat line is alarming to you. Shroud is so good on so many maps, and the only reason we bring this up is because he's so good. But on Dust 2, a mere 6% headshot percentage? That
is interesting. Yeah, that doesn't seem like Shroud is at all. What was it on the previous map?
On previous maps, it was upwards of 16.
Yeah, so he's just it seems that he's been slumping on Dust 2, which is weird, because I feel like that's the map that everyone's familiar with. That seems like it would be the most even map for all the players.
The end of the half. Yeah, the end of the half now approaches the final round, and iBUYPOWER wants that 5. It would feel much, much better to them if they had it. Cloud9, after losing a few, now has to buy light. They have a Deagle, CZs, a couple utilities, and only 2 real rifles. Elbows visible. Nothing gets greedy and lets Shroud pick up a 1 Deag for him. The second one goes a little bit out of control, and Dazed drops him, opens up bomb site B for business. There's already somebody tucked in. Semphis is already here inside the site waiting, and Dazed backs off knowing that something is amiss.
Yeah, especially after losing someone
Look at the map. Look at where the bomb carrier is. The full rotate is on. iBUYPOWER has completely outsmarted Cloud9 for the rotate, and now they move their way into a clear bomb site A, but crossing is still a complicated affair.
It is. You got hiko down in the CT spawn, and he is ready for this.
He can hear him, and he backs off for safer positioning. He'll let his teammate with the weaker gun and the weaker position take over for him. Will they try the boost? No, shot in the back. Steel has an op kill, and Steel's been really good with the op this tournament. iBUYPOWER perhaps late in their thought maturation process on Dust 2, but they come up with a real gem here at the end of the half. There's the moment. It took his crosshair off right at the last second.
I was watching the shot, waiting for it to happen.
That Molotov will slow things down. Steel still hasn't considered that somebody's flanking him, but we know that's not the case. Now hiko to clutch versus 3, picks up 1 headshot, cannot cross the fire, and realizes that the scenario is unwinnable. 5 rounds for iBUYPOWER makes the half a little bit more respectable. You're watching CEVO TV and the CEVO LAN Grand Finals. Yeah, the series is led by iBUYPOWER 3-0, and Cloud9 only needs 2 map wins to win it, so they have to win out. If iBUYPOWER wins here, they are crowned grand champions.
Exactly, and we do go to the CT side for iBUYPOWER, which I think that they are much better on CT side than they are on T side. So This is going to be interesting. I mean, Cloud9 had a way better first half than they did on the previous Dust 2 map that we saw, coming out with a 10-5 instead of a 9-6 for iBUYPOWER. So that's huge, but still, 5 rounds for iBUYPOWER, that's going to be good. And the reason for that is because, especially in regards to Cloud9, Cloud9's main objective on Dust 2 is to sit in mid and then work picks. And unfortunately, iBUYPOWER knows that, and they know how to fight against it. They don't peek mid that much unless they have someone pop flash or smoke for them, and then they get in there. And remember, we did see some aggressive pushes from iBUYPOWER that really caught Cloud9 off guard.
You're absolutely right. We're back live again. The second half to what could be the end of it all, or the resurgence of Cloud9. The purchases for the T's, mostly armor. The CTs, 3 armors. First shot by Swag is good. Semphis is dead. The attack on bomb side B is on. We'll turn the X-ray back on. And see the engagement. Hiko fires back, tries to save his teammate. sgares a little bit too close to the door, and now the bomb is in an odd spot. Recovered finally by his teammate. Nothing can get it, and Hiko picks up a USP. Bomb now dropped. 3 on the retake, 3 to defend. It's a pure gun battle. Shroud has the first one, Skadoodle's down, and AZK on the retake. Clipped. Steal the next one inside the window. Cloud9 has 11. Presumably a couple more with a couple gun rounds.
Huge round for Cloud9. They really need to get that pistol to put them over the edge in terms of a round advantage going into the second half. But yeah, now iBUYPOWER is going to be on the back foot. They're going to be trying to play catch up. So we'll see what happens. Swag picking up a scout, trying to get some extra cash from that. Maybe some jumping headshots since he plays that B position.
Pot flash set up by Steel here to let his team exfiltrate. Clever move, but we do know that that's not going to be the case this round. Look at the entire T team traversing bomb site B tunnels. A split B take perhaps, or just a bunch walk into B. Cloud9 has used a couple of bunch picks today to great effect.
Yeah, you got Swag behind the B, but you also have AZK pushed up and oh, Swag got a headshot with that scout.
Now it looks more and more like they're going to bunch up and use the bunch pick instead of the split B with less people to manage.
Expect this.
There's that moment. AZK drops. Semphis still doesn't reload his CZ as he doesn't necessarily need to. Now he does, has teammates nearby to support him. Can't pick up the gun, but maybe you don't need it. Oh, good looking headshot from Steel. Pressure applied by the scout. Swag will not allow anyone to pick up the bomb. Finishes the round with a shot to the chest of Hiko. iBUYPOWER wins on the oddest of looking rounds.
And that's going to be a lot of money to Swag. He's at 3,900, obviously. But, yeah, I mean, they could do a buy now. They picked up 2 AKs of Galil, so they should be good. Skadoodle just buying that op flat, taking him to Brook.
That we don't necessarily need to, since you guys can see the scores at the spawn. Pull up the tab screen one more time. How much money does Swag have still left over? 26.
Yeah, he actually held on to that scout. So didn't actually make that much money from those 2 kills, which is surprising.
iBUYPOWER has to know the tendencies of Cloud9 to buy deagles on maps that have straight sight lines, and Dust 2 qualifies as one of those maps.
Yeah, look at Skadoodle. He is ready and waiting for this push here in mid from Semphis.
Find it a bit odd that the angles that the iBUYPOWER players have chosen to use in this particular round are the close angles that deagles really thrive off of.
Yeah, it is, but they're trying to hope to get those early picks, and 2-man setup in mid. I mean, they got it.
Split execute on B, running into a bit of trouble as Swag identifies the location of one of the B tunnel players. Steel drops sgares out at mid, and we still have the engagement through the smoke between Shroud and Swag, which is picked up via scout, long distance. Nothing. The last one has an AK and sees the player jumping up and down. Shot from behind, a piercing kill via USP. 11-7. The gap is closing.
It is. They got that. You know, they got that eco, and that put the momentum back in their favor. Now Cloud9 needs to go for a full save, and this is iBUYPOWER's time to just get another one and tighten that gap.
3 seconds left in freeze time. And the communication between both teams a little on edge. Cloud9 specifically, knowing that their lead might evaporate if they cannot win an eco round, which is tough to do on Dust 2. Look at this, a single flash, perhaps a late charge into long to wrest a gun away. They know iBUYPOWER has been tempting the long god's fate by moving up to the door, trying to get those that informational gathering. I think what they're going to do is probably pop flash over and try to steal a gun.
That's what it looks like. I mean, they actually moved away, so I think they're hoping to get a push here, but the number 5 man semphis is coming around. He, I think they know he is their best pistoler, so maybe they'll just try to flash him in, or no.
There's no.
No, I don't even see any nades in their inventory.
A silent walk in then. semphis did give away it, saw the shadow at the last second, brings his crosshair back to bear on the target. Skadoodle saves teammate and brings down 2 total. Bolt action, carnage. And a parting nade from Steel as he died. Nothing drops Skadoodle as the rap player from the top of the catwalk. Sgares is the last. He's facing off against 3. And can pick up the bomb. With 35 seconds, he could make it to the other bomb site, but I don't think that's really his objective. He throws his own pop flash and then goes for the Braveheart charge.
Yeah, and they managed to get the op for Skadoodle, so that's a good pickup by iBUYPOWER, and they do get another round. So we'll see a buy here from Cloud9 to see what nades they're going to get. They have plenty to get whatever they need to have a successful round, but interesting to see what they're doing. I mean, they started out with a, looking at that initial mid pick, and then that time they actually went for the A push, which, I mean, Steel just got to trade out too much, and a nice pick there by Swag in mid.
Op duel successful. Swag gets tagged as a parting gift, but he gets the better of Sgares, who has been so good with the op lately. That could be pivotal for the success of this round. 3 to stack long. A close support player at the car looking back toward Cap, but could fill back in and help the players at long early. They've guessed right. If Cloud9 does walk into this, they walk into a fully loaded defense. They're almost in. Dazed is blind, but still tucked into the blue dumpster. Could have had a double. Shroud's reflexes stop him from dying. I mean, stop himself from dying. I'm just amazed. I was prepared to say everything good about Dazed just then. Through the smoke, Steel picks up the kill and looks for the second burst. Picks up a headshot on the third burst of that volley. What? How do you reflex like that?
I don't know, but he completely saved his team. I mean, Dazed still did a ton of damage and set him up for Steel to get those easy kills. But yeah, that was an impressive save by Shroud.
Nothing to step out of the door. Everybody has scoped weapons, it seems. iBUYPOWER is closing the gap. They are at 9 to Cloud9's 11.
Yep, and another save probably going to be coming out for Cloud9. So we're probably going to see an 11-10 here. And this one, just like the previous one, is starting to come down to be very even and down to the wire.
Let's see if Swag goes for that counter pick again this round.
Okay.
So will he slide out? And he will. No, just stares it down for just a second. All of Cloud9 is sprinting toward long. They finally slowed up. No, they're committing to this. Skadoodle hears it, throws a panic flashbang backward to buy himself some time. We'll get the elevator boost back up onto the platform. Oh my God! He never saw him. A shot through the smoke will get him a kill, and it looks like the initial charge has been thwarted. Still, the odds are okay. Not anymore.
Oh, he
hit him in the shoulder. We're not sure that that's supposed to not kill you. You're not supposed
to. Probably an arm shot.
Yeah, it was probably on GoTV a shoulder shot, but in actuality, an arm shot.
Yeah, either way, impressive that he hit that jumping shot onto hiko. But there it is, 11-10, and iBUYPOWER is mounting an impressive comeback, as we saw that first round was 10-5. So here we go. Sgares does have an op, and he's been doing great with that, so hopefully he could open up something for Cloud9 and get them back into a better lead position.
They can smell the championship. The title of CEVO Season 5 champion on the line for iBUYPOWER. Cloud9 just trying to push it out one more map. Mid-control called for Cloud9, the bomb also in tow. They've got a spawn controller to look down the double doors, and too close to the doors to approach to be on the offensive. Very close cluster defense, too close to the doors. One up on Cat, 2 up on Cat actually, and 1 out at long. They spread back out to the 2-2-1. iBUYPOWER didn't have enough information to justify cluttering mid as much as they did, and I think this is a very astute thing that they just pulled off.
Yeah, I mean, this is back to the old tendencies that Cloud9 has been doing, and we haven't actually been seeing it too much. It seems like they have been trying to avoid just sticking to mid, but this is, here we go, mid to B.
It's a mid to B. You stick with the classics, you stick with what you know, you stick with vanilla and sometimes chocolate, and AZK will pick up a double. He's got a double, but he's still out in open space. His teammate makes sure that he cannot be traded. Swag looking for the kill. It'll be AZK who turns around and picks up hiko at the exit of the door. We're all tied up. iBUYPOWER smells championship.
It is getting there, man. They tied it up after being down for so long, just kept fighting. And one of those things I said, how Cloud9 falls into that, just sit in mid and look for picks type of thing. They've been actually going away from that, but it's not really working. So they did try to make an adjustment because they know iBUYPOWER knows how to counter that. But what the new strats that they're doing, the emphasis on A and trying to, work B, it's just not paying off for them.
Can you just imagine a 4-0 upset?
I did imagine that. That's why I predicted it.
I understand, but
yeah, I know.
The thought is just staggering.
Especially after the beating that Cloud9 put on iBUYPOWER yesterday. It's, yeah.
Some unbelievable stuff. Early kill. And that's semphis who's been removed on the T side. Cloud9 who's been now sent staggering, reeling from recent performance from iBUYPOWER, looks for answers. Can they find it? We're about to find out. The bomb carrier is also the lead fragger. Not a typical practice, but sometimes crazy is what you need. Nothing's the guy carrying the bomb. He's got the AK-47 looking for the top player on top of the bricks who's not there today. We set up now for the set smokes and the flashes to blind, I think at that angle perhaps just to, oh, he's going to jump. To blind the cross and then fire the platform. Steel knows the wrap is coming. Engages. hiko was waiting on it, sat on the shot, hit the good headshot, and now it's down to a 3 versus 4. Still 2 defenders dug in at long. hiko wins the battle. An errant shot by skadoodle may cost him his life. No, he's still good. Then skadoodle turns a 180. It's a long distance headshot. 1 versus 3. It's nothing versus everybody. Saves himself from 1. AZK closes it up. iBUYPOWER sits on top for the first time in a long time. There's the defuse, 12-11.
Huge plays there by skadoodle. I really like what iBUYPOWER did there. You saw the smokes come out from Cloud9 onto Catwalk to block off the cross, and to block off the A platform. And what iBUYPOWER did was they used it to their advantage. Skadoodle moved out towards the cross, towards the right wall, and he fought off the people coming out along A. And the people who pushed up on Catwalk couldn't see him due to the smokes.
We cross, no smokes to be used. Cloud9 still bought up again. They have a reasonable amount of utility nades, and they'll try to make a fast play into B. No, they'll curtail that movement, change it into a lower B control out to mid. That palm player there is probably designated to be a pop flash. That shot, don't test it again, skadoodle. He's sitting on that angle. Gets close to the door, and I think iBUYPOWER is playing very close press, especially with that op. They'll back out now.
I was going to say I'd like to see an aggressive push from iBUYPOWER because they've been using that to their advantage. But swag
on the close range op drops nothing. Then it's traded by semphis. They'll smoke out the catwalk to prevent anyone else from walking through. It's hard to throw that smoke. There's always a weird crease left by the rebound of the smoke. You have to be very subtle and deft with that touch.
Yeah, you do. And, it's hard to get that placement like you said. So sometimes, occasionally, even the pros mess that up.
Every time I mess that up. Every single time. 4 alive for both teams. No one playing to make the big play right now. Everyone playing to prevent the big mistake. 30 seconds remain. Cloud9 will do a late execute. It's a split on B. Dazed hears it, flicks the flashbang. Perhaps one of the more pivotal moments of the entire tournament about to transpire. Everyone through the window. It's time to go. Dazed holds on to the site. 2-2 on the trade. 2 alive for both teams. 15 seconds and a forced bomb plant. There's the first rotator inside the halls. It's Steel on the scene. Picked up by Shroud. 1 versus 2. Skadoodle with his weapon of choice. He'll step in into the breach. And no attempt for the quick scope. 12-12 all tied up.
Yeah, I mean, I want to see the economies because iBUYPOWER has won so many rounds in a row. Yeah, they are looking very strong. They haven't been really losing that many people on these rounds, so they have a good economy built. They're going for the double ops. Once again, you see semphis has an op for himself, taking that away from sgares. But the buy, other than that, not too bad for Cloud9. Based on that win, you see Gares has a Galil, but not too big of a deal.
Large hold there. Semphis even identified his target, couldn't bring his crosshair to bear as Steel sprayed him down, and they started heavy overload at long, now reset to a 2-1-2 as they assume Cloud9's going to rotate back. We know, though, the bomb is on catwalk and could just walk up the elbow. If they can clear the car player, they've got a free sight.
That's going to be tough to do because it's Skadoodle and he has his op.
Very tough to do. Hip pocket just detected by Skadoodle. And if he sees the long player, he knows that the wrap is coming. The strat is now up. The Skadoodle knows a double to his name. A teammate asked to help, and Hiko drops dazed. And also Skadoodle. 1 versus 3. Hiko will try to clutch. He's been in this situation before in large tournaments, and again, he finds himself in the same situation.
Took a lot of damage running through that fire, but he does get the bomb down.
There's a lot to deal with here, and not a whole lot of health to work with. Misses his first volley, sees the head and a car player. Somebody jumping up, jumping op kill. You can only do circus shots today, Swag.
Apparently. And there is the round win for iBUYPOWER. Let's take a look. Well, they got the bomb plant, so they should be able to get a buy going here. Cloud9, that is. But even with that bomb plant, they are hurting 2,900, 2,200, 2,250, and 33. They might, I mean, I won't say it until they actually do it.
How appropriate that this series always ends like this. Always ends like this.
Okay, they know what's at stake here. They know they got to go for the actual save, and that's what they do. They do pick up some pistols to try to get a little bit of an advantage, but it's a rush out to A. Long A, that is.
They pressed out. Did they detect sgares? They try to flash him out and try to charge him, but knowing his positioning, they will not go after him because the door is still guarded. Now, if it's smoked, expect sgares to be pre-fired.
No.
Expect gears to get pre-fired right now. There it is. He gets dinked, and for what he had, that was actually a good trade. Shroud will be able to pick up that weapon, and I think for a doomed player, that's about the best case scenario.
Yeah, could have probably got that weapon. Didn't want a chance going through the smoke, though, and getting killed, but nothing. He wants that AK if it didn't get blasted towards the enemy team.
Still one player left at the car. Skadoodle above the car level, looking down at the angle of the players. He gave up his position, saw the elbow of a player, turns, quickscopes, nothing. He knows there's one more down there. Throws a pop flash, up and down, goes for another quickscope. 2 versus 2, Hiko barely alive with 4 HP and no armor, but Shroud is the one wielding the AK-47. It may fall to him to make the big play. Look at this. 30 seconds on the clock, and by the time they reach the bomb set again, it will seriously be close.
It will. The time is ticking, so they can't really be patient about this. They got to get out there. Hiko only has 4 health. So
Shroud may have to toss the bomb. He may have to toss the bomb.
That's what's going to happen.
There it is.
Oh, he's got to try to peek it.
14 seconds remain, and the CTs know that the bomb's been recovered. AZK's shadow's been seen. Shroud looked away at the wrong time. Now it's just a 4 HP Hiko. He knows he had that chance. He went for that Batman kill, and he saw his own doom in writing. It'll be 14 rounds for iBUYPOWER. They're just 2 away from the championship title.
Lost his support player, Shroud, so he had to go for the crazy play, try to catch him off guard. Unfortunately, he couldn't get that CZ kill. Either way, they get the bomb plant, so they'll have additional money going into this next round. They could get those ops. Hiko had 6K, but no, it's going to be an all AK buy. Lots of grenades here from Cloud9. Tough call to say what they need to do here because they've been really trying to poking around the entire map, and they've had some successes some places, but they keep going back to A for the most part.
This might be the round.
Same scenario as last time. This time, Garrett has an AK instead of that pistol.
It's all nerves and adrenaline now. The fuel that keeps you going. sgares sees Steel Shadow and knee, and will drop him. Daze looks for the response. Does anyone know that he filled in for his teammate? Now he gave himself away, throwing that nade. He did some damage, but ultimately it might not have been worth it. Now it is. Now definitely it is. Looking to engage his teammate, supported from a long distance from Skadoodle, clipped by Semphis. Headshot to the pit. Skadoodle fighting 1-to-1 close range with an op. Inadvisable to most people, but maybe not to him. AZK wins the battle, 2 versus 3.
Swag's got to be careful.
He must, and he turns around, looks for the quick scope, misses it. Semphis drops him, and Swag will call out to his teammates. It's time to go. Time to rotate. 40 seconds remain. And it's time for all ridiculous shots. You have no tools left except for a frag grenade and a smoke grenade. No subtlety gets you here. It's all going to be gunplay. And Semphis extends the life of Cloud9. A deep, deep exhale for all of you Cloud9 fans.
Yeah, I'm not sure why Swag was going up catwalk. Like, there was more people for him to kill on the A platform, maybe just a miscommunication. But if he was set up waiting for that rotate, he would have been able to get the kill on those guys most likely. And his fall was really a big deal because he gave up the smoke for them to smoke mid with.
That's true. That's absolutely true. Without it, skadoodle would have been able to scope in and look at anybody crossing through the doors. 4 to long, it looks like iBUYPOWER has realized that Cloud9 is leveraging their strong entries at long. Now, the identification is typically you work away from the strongest player, but Cloud9 is running right into the teeth of Steel and skadoodle trying to knock down that lane. And even though 2 of the stronger players on iBUYPOWER are clogging that lane, they're not afraid of them.
Yeah, Cloud9 likes to put that smoke on the corner to block the opper, and then they wait for you to move to the side of the smoke into their crosshair, essentially.
Dazed has dropped hiko. Elsewhere on the map, the entries are now good. Shroud has removed Steel, who is in the pit. We saw him moments ago. 4 alive for both teams, and iBUYPOWER's hearts are in their throats. Cloud9 playing like they have nothing to lose, and in fact, they have to play that way. 3 alive for the CTs. They'll press for bomb site A. There's no need for subtlety here. Time to brute force the door. 1 on the platform and 1 close corner. That's a kill for nothing. And a spray through on AZK. They never saw him, and they never needed to. Swag's the last one alive. I'm willing to bet you that at the end of this one, it's going to be tied up down the stretch.
Yeah, it definitely is. He might be able to pick up a kill here. Does get 1 exit, going to force that rebuy from Gares, which actually is a pretty big deal because he did have that op, and he does get the op for skadoodle. So if he can just save this, then that will be great. But, I mean, great execute by Cloud9 right there. They lost hiko with their trade onto long, and then it was a huge op shot from Gares to out-op skadoodle that got them into the A site.
Quick tease by the retreating Cloud9 players. They've got Swag in a pincer maneuver. Doesn't necessarily matter. He's not going down without a fight. Almost was able to leg Shroud, and they do remove the op from his hands. That's a big, big round for Cloud9.
It certainly is. Let's take a look at the economy. iBUYPOWER, they got to save. Got to save and go for the tie. That is unfortunate. I mean, Cloud9's economy isn't that great either, but so... I mean, this is going to come down to if iBUYPOWER can somehow manage to eco, I think they'll walk away with the win because then Cloud9 will be on the pistols. But yeah, I mean, we'll be playing for tie here.
It all comes down to this. Cloud9 still have great faith in their advocacy for taking over long. They'll try it one more time, but Steel's not going to let them. On this eco round, Steel will press the door. iBUYPOWER's economy in tatters.
No smoke for Steel to smoke double doors and try to sneak in like we've seen him do before.
So much caution from the Cloud9 team, knowing that in this wounded state, iBUYPOWER is likely to try something crazy, something suicidal. There's a split for B, heading toward B now, and there may just be a walkthrough. The smoke is through. Semphis walks in, scouting for information. The split is on. Swag chases for the kill. Cannot pick up that gun without risking too much, and he may not do it. skadoodle looking for a prayer of a headshot. There it is. sgares cleans up one of the B defenders, sees the jumping body of one of the CTs rotating through. It's a mess of an engagement, and not a whole lot of information is known from both teams about the positioning of either. 2 versus 3. Ecoing team versus entrenched bot team. Pretty much for the game. sgares misses the crucial shot on the first rotator, but Semphis will make up for it. Pick up a double. We'll go to our last man standing, AZK, who comes from the tunnel. Instantly picked up by Semphis. Tie point achieved. Cloud9 is at least safe for overtime.
Huge, huge round for Semphis right there. Picking up those kills. I mean, you saw it. Gares missed that crucial op shot, like you said, but Semphis was in the way to pick up both people with the spray and then turns towards AZK and gets that kill.
Now, to move on with your lives, to push this to the final series on DE Inferno, Cloud9 must win this one. Otherwise, we're going to overtime. In either scenario, I will tell you right now, I'm plenty happy to entertain.
Yeah. Either way it ends out, I mean, we get OT or we get a map 3, so it's going to be good no matter what.
Here we go. Something that resembles a default for Cloud9 in a map that we have yet to see real usage of a default. We do have a B tunnel push. iBUYPOWER has decided to go with the bold move at the very end. And AZK's been spotted. Shot in the back by hiko, dropped, and no response from the counter-terrorist team. Swag has allowed his opponent to escape. It's a big win for hiko.
And immediately they go out to mid because they know the B players have pushed up, and they're going to try to get mid to B as quickly as possible.
So many smokes. Dazed fires prayers through. Swag pre-fires the door, just aiming in nowhere, finding people after he started pulling the trigger. 2 versus 3, it's back and forth.
That's the same scenario we saw last time.
2 versus 2. Now skadoodle looking for that cutoff rotator into the door, picks up the kill, and a TK at the very end of it all. What a disaster. 1 versus 1 now. Dazed to make it up to his team. Or force another map.
Based on the plant spot, he's got to know it's tunnels.
Shot in the back. Cloud9 sending this to DE Inferno. You're watching the CEVO Grand Finals on LAN. I'm Cotton. My partner is Klops. What a